You are welcome to UTMI channel. I'm by name John Bolingo Ntahira, founder and the president of Unlock the Mind Institute. We are here again for our first episode, and the title is, What if your mind is locked, but you don't even know? I think this is really a tough question, but that we need to think about it. What if your mind is locked, but you look at it as if it is normal? What if your limitations in your life are not your enemies, not the environment, not those of which you call problems? What if? Let's go deeper and understand how the mind functions. Maybe at the end of this episode, you will really understand what may have happened. You will really understand why you believe what you believe. You really understand the type of food you've been used in your life. Now, first of all, I want you to understand that the way this body operates, it's the same way our mind operates. Do you know that your mind needs food in order to operate? But of course, we all know that the body cannot survive if it did not get food. But I want to tell you that your mind feeds on knowledge. Do you know that your mind needs also to rest? But of course, your mind will not need a mattress to go and sleep. But your mind needs someone it can trust. You know, when water flows, then water gives life. But as long as water becomes stagnant, it starts even to smell. That's why in life, you need at least someone you can trust, someone you can transform what you have to him so that your ideas can flow. Every time your ideas does not flow, then it is stuck and you may end up having many problems. Do you know that your mind needs exercise? Of course, it's not like the body, The body, I need to go to gym, I need to run so that I can remain fit. But for the mind, it's not the case. The mind needs to confront challenges so that your mind can stretch, think bigger. But guess what? Many of us, we don't want to face challenges. Where we see a challenge, we want to escape. Where we see challenges, we want to make a shortcut to divert. But you know what? Every challenge you face carries a business. Every challenge you face carries an opportunity. Now guess what? How many opportunities you've rejected? How many businesses you have turned away? Now, let's come to the food, because that's what makes our topic today. So your mind feeds on knowledge. So the knowledge is the food of the mind. As you all know, when you take a poison food, your body may change immediately. You can go to toilet 10 times within 5 minutes. Why? Because you've taken a poison food. Guess what? When we come now to the mind is fed on knowledge. Now let me ask you, who designed the knowledge you are consuming? Again, who designed the knowledge you are consuming? Remember, when we talk about mental chains are formed by false knowledge. Each time you consume false knowledge, knowing that it is true knowledge, then you are making your mind to be chained. You live in a prison. Because we say that the greatest prison a man can be, not the one with bars, but with unquestioned ideas. Each time you just receive ideas, you consume them, you are moved by them, but you've never questioned, that you are really in a serious prison. Now, this becomes now serious. And that's why when we also run to the Bible, when we consult one of the greatest teachers that has ever existed on this planet, Jesus Christ said something very interesting in John chapter 8, verse 32. What did he say? And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Yeah. You can never be free by being prayed for. When we go to deliverance service, I'm going for deliverance, Jesus said, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Nothing else can make a human being free except discovery of the truth. Now guess what? Have you ever questioned what you believe? You go to church, they preach to you, but you can't even ask a question. You just believe because you've been taught. But this is the time, if we want to break mental chains, we need to start asking bold questions so that we can believe what we understand, so that we can save our next generation. Our next generation needs to understand things. We don't want them to follow things blindly. They need to really understand. Because Jesus says, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That's why we say that mental liberation begins when people start questioning. If you've not started questioning your belief system, know that freedom is not yet. Now, let's see what happened on 15th November 1884 up to 26 February 1885. I think those who studied history, you know what we called Berlin Conference. But have you ever sit down and think what happened there? The Chancellor of Germany, Bismarck, had to call this important meeting for them. And all great, powerful nations that time had to sit almost 4 months discussing about Africa, discussing how they have to divide Africa into small pieces. Guess what? Africa was not invited. They had to decide how they are going to divide countries. That's why at that time you will find someone, the same family, becomes now in 2 countries to 3 countries, just one family. And these are conflicts we have today because of artificial borders. Now that's the only thing we can see and understand. But what happened behind the curtains? The education system that was invented, that our children are consuming today. Education system that trains people to be smart slaves. When I speak about smart slaves, every master will want to have a slave who cannot forget. That's why our education system focuses on memorization. But now with technology, now AI is doing everything. I don't even know what our children will be doing who are under the system of memorization. If the AI can answer any question within seconds, do we need again this kind of people who have been trained in this system. Now, as I talk about the system, I think time is now. Because a society cannot depend on imported mindset to solve its problems. I believe that Africans are the expert of their own issues. So we need to design our own system that responds to our realities. We need to start training our children to become great people, to become problem solvers, to become thinkers, not only job seekers. Of course, we cannot reach to that if we don't review the system. We question the system to see who benefits from the system, because someone is benefiting. So we have a lot to learn at UTMI, but we need to start by questioning. We need to start by thinking so that our children do not inherit what we went through. I think the greatest mistake we can do, all of us, is to leave this world the way it is to leave our children in the same bondage we lived in. But guess what? If we can work together, question boldly, change what needs to be changed, then we give a package to the young generation, then I believe the children of our children can live a happy life. Because in the proverb, there is a saying that a wise man has wealth for the children of his children. And I'm sure the wealth we can pass on to our children is not money, but knowledge. Once they have knowledge, they will know how to manage their resources. Once they have knowledge, they will know how to develop their dear continent. So thank you for following. This was the first episode. I'm inviting you to subscribe, share, so that at least this message can reach to every young person in Africa. I love you, and may God bless you. May God bless Africa. Bye.